The woman was sprawled across the airplane wing. She unscrewed the fuel tank cap. The man in the cabin handed her a bottle of hard liquor. She bit off the bottle cap and began pouring alcohol into the fuel tank. The powerful airflow nearly swept her off. The bottle in her hand fell away. The man brought out another bottle. The woman clung desperately to the wing. She poured the 96 proof liquor into the fuel tank. The plane's fuel gauge rose by 1 mark. The man brought another bottle of alcohol. The woman shifted her position to bite off the cap, continuing to add alcohol to the fuel tank. They didn't know if this would actually work, but they had no other choice. After pouring in 2 bottles, the plane's fuel level reached 10%. At this point, the man spotted a small island on the sea. The woman continued adding alcohol. The man produced the last remaining bottle. Suddenly, the plane jolted. The last bottle fell to the floor and shattered. The woman began crawling back from the top of the plane to the side. She returned to the cabin, shaken but safe. The fuel level was at 15%, but this wouldn't last long. They needed to land as soon as possible. The man said he had just seen a small island. Perhaps they could turn around and make an emergency landing on the island. She used the radio to call the tower. Still with no response, the woman turned the plane around, flying back to search for the island. Both scanned the sea surface intently. After flying for quite a while, they still hadn't spotted the island. By now the plane's fuel was running low. If they couldn't find land for an emergency landing, they would soon lose power. After another 5 minutes, the fuel gauge was nearly empty. They were becoming anxious. They should have seen the island by now. The plane began to shake. Then the engine emitted black smoke. The propeller gradually slowed until it stopped completely. Not a drop of fuel remained. They had nowhere to escape. They couldn't glide for long. The woman looked at the man. She apologized for leaving without saying goodbye before. The couple began sharing their true feelings. Suddenly the man spotted the island from earlier. The woman immediately turned the plane, adjusting its position to prepare for an emergency landing.